We're starting an innovation team to reinvent our industry, and I want you to help start that team. Think about it. If you had a license to innovate, what are some of the things that you would think about doing with the business tomorrow? Innovation sounds so cool. We're gonna need robots, lasers, VR, AI. We need all this really cool stuff. And you know what? We definitely need an app. Everybody has an app. And what would consumers say about this sign? Would they notice it? Would they buy more product? I learned by the end of the week, no one cared about my sign. 2 losses in 1 day. This was horrible. It was hard to find that win, to get that big win of innovation. We're trying to disrupt the industry. And I just was going rampant on emails. Walking down the street in Manhattan, you won't believe what has happened in this store. There was this orange blur in the far, far distance. And it kept on growing and growing as I was looking down at my phone. Until finally I had to look up. I looked up and standing right there in front of me, dressed in orange, was a monk in the middle of Manhattan. And he puts his palm out. And in his hand, he offers me a wooden mala bracelet. And what I noticed was on the front of this bracelet was this Sanskrit word, Ripka. Ripka, translated to English, means unconfused knowledge. And that's when it hit me. I have been confusing all of this innovation knowledge for so long, trying to figure out what innovation really was, but I was just really confused. It was just way too much content that I was taking in. I was thinking about all those different philosophies, all those different books. I was living by these mantras. Innovate or die, fail fast, disrupt or be disrupted. Who here has heard of those mantras before? Every single day, I made decisions knowing that I was going to be disrupted if I don't disrupt first. I'm gonna die if I don't innovate. And it had me making decisions just for innovation's sake, rather than innovating with purpose. Started to research what innovation was like before a book or a process. I went back as far as 4000 BC to see, how did they innovate? So I started to reflect and start to think really about these types of case studies, and it kept on coming over and over again, these same 3 variables to these innovative concepts. Those 3 key variables are all about finding the problem. It was creating that change that improves. And lastly, it was about getting others to accept that change that needs to improve that problem. I was able to see what innovation really was. And I started to use the 3 variables with every single project. How can I get customers to look at my sign, but what can I do with a sign that's going to solve my consumer's problem? Not only were consumers looking at my sign, but they were using the sign to help do a very important job. We're going to create a party for tonight, guys. Which party you guys rather go to? Yeah, Sen, right? Yeah. Then cross your arms one over the other. Oh boy, yeah, I saw a couple of you trying to figure that one out. How did that feel? And now I'm coming here and saying, hey, we got an innovation, we're gonna cross our arms differently. And guess what happens? It feels very uncomfortable. Next thing you know, you're gonna wanna go back to the opposite way. We're gonna approach it completely different. Let's start asking questions. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about your job? What are some of the biggest challenges that you face? What do your customers want from your experience? How can I support you? How can your manager support you? What does an ideal service look like for you? There's 2 ways that you can get to the moon. The first way to get to the moon is to build a rocket, fuel it up, and shoot it and hope it makes it. The other way that you can get to the moon is to build a staircase. So what can you do in the short term to get results, to get people bought in, that build up to that moonshot idea? We're gonna do a little meditation. I'm gonna be watching you, make sure you don't move. What made you choose to come today? Why does that matter? Why do you want that to happen? All right, now I want you just to visualize for a second that happening. Whatever it was that you came here for and why it's so important for you, have it just play out fully. How does that feel? How does that feel to make it to your goal? And now, double it. Double that feeling. Triple that feeling. Triple the feeling that you have right now. Go 10 times on that feeling. 10 times it. How does that feel? I want you to remember this feeling as you walk the floor for the next 2 days, as you have conversations with people. Stay purposeful. Stay on the intent of why you're here. Don't follow shiny objects. It's all about just being aware, bringing a high level of awareness to every conversation that you have, every observation that you make, and every moment that you live. Thank you very much.